Welcome to the Genesis of the Doctor podcast, where we're taking a journey to the time and space of the history of Doctor Who. I'm Tris,
And I'm Joy.
and for today's episode, we're watching the third and fourth serials of season 17, with The Creature from the Pit and Nightmare of Eden. So, I kind of went into these stories with really low expectations because I have never heard anything about either of these. Other
Yeah.
than you mentioning before that one of them is basically an anti-drug PSA.
Yeah.
And that was it. So I was very curious what we were going to be getting into here. To start off, though, The Creature from the Pit is a story that I think wanted to do a lot more than it actually did, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I feel
Like,
like ultimately it's a very run-of-the-mill story, but it clearly
yeah.
had ideas there.
And I think it's a shame because there's a lot of world building that goes on pretty early on about metal is the most precious thing on this planet. Um Adrasta is the leader of maybe not the full planet, but at the very least of this area. She's got the monopoly on metal. It also weirdly sets up this hierarchy of women are the leading class kind of thing. They don't really
Yeah.
go into it much, but it suggests women are the leading class and men are much lesser, and they don't really do anything with that.
Yeah, they really only have the one leader, the one queen.
Yeah, they set it up where they're oh, they assume Romana's the leader, between
Yeah.
her and the Doctor, but they don't do anything more with that, and I find that a bit of a shame because it could have been a story that gives Romana more of the spotlight and puts her more in that leading position than the Doctor, because of the expectation there. But then it was kind of no, it's all the men taking charge, and it's oh, all right,
Yeah.
suddenly a lot less interesting.
And I know Romana in this story was this was the first one that they produced with
With
Lala
all
Ward,
Ward,
so she
okay,
she wasn't really a fan of how she was handled in this story in general. Just because she felt like
yeah,
she was pretty clearly not written for the new incarnation. They hadn't figured out what the new incarnation would be like yet, so she's
no.
much more based on the first incarnation.
But even still, she's still kind of a damsel throughout this entire story.
Yeah,
And that was kind of my problem. Yes, I know it was the first iteration of her, or written for the first iteration of her, essentially, but it's still kind of a clear case of they don't know what to do with Romana as a character, because the
yeah,
first Romana also would have been very out of place here, because she was never meant to be the damsel in distress that she ended up being for most of her run.
yeah.
So
I
it's
know
kind of frustrating.
she didn't like her costume either because that costume is definitely something Mary Tam would wear instead.
Yeah, I could definitely understand that. I could definitely understand that. I think there were some good moments throughout this story, though. Um, I don't like K9's voice, but I
Yeah,
do think there were some really funny moments for K9. Really, really sassy.
yeah. I think K9's a weird one. Like I don't think I hate him doing the voice, but it's definitely like he's not trying to just imitate John Leeson. He's trying to do something different. And obviously, we're so used to John Leeson's K9, so it sounds
Yeah.
weird.
The reason why I don't like it is because I think there's too much personality in it. It
Yeah,
sounds he sounds so pretentious.
yeah,
The delivery just sounds really pretentious, and I'm not a big fan of that for K9 because I think that kind of goes against what K9's supposed to be.
yeah,
And I know you can argue K9's always had sass, and he would sass the Doctor, but part of why it worked was because he was a robot and it
yeah,
was more so about logic and not quite having the delivery that made it sassy. It was the answers themselves. But David Brierly feels like he's really leaning into the sass. So every line delivery, I picture like behind the microphone for the voice of Kanon, he's holding a wine glass the whole time. Like he
Yeah.
sounds so pretentious in his delivery.
Yeah, I definitely like him a lot better when he's just like the quirky voice we have that he's normally has, and
Yeah.
like his sass is like he doesn't understand that he's sassing people, whereas here it kind of
Yes.
feels like he understands it more.
Yeah, here it sounds like there's an ego, and I don't like Kanon with an
Yeah,
ego in this case because that doesn't feel fitting. Yes, I mean over the years they've played around with the idea of Kanon having a little bit more personality, like in Sarah Jane Adventures. K9 and Mr. Smith are kind of have a little bit of a rivalry and a jealousy with each other, but like that feels a bit more natural. Whereas here, it really feels like, oh, well, K9's always been a little sassy. Let me lean into that, and I feel like it takes away a little bit because now it all feels really forced.
yeah. And I know behind the scenes, like they didn't really get along with David Brierly as well as they did with John Leeson. I don't think,
Aw, yeah, that's fair.
because
That's fair.
like John Leeson would come to the rehearsals and he would always like when they did rehearsals, he would be like on his knees to like play around like he's actually K9 and stuff. And
Oh,
then
that's hilarious.
David Brierly just like didn't go to rehearsals, so they didn't really get
Oh,
along with him because they never saw him.
yeah, yeah. He never really got to bond with them. He
Yeah,
chose not to, I guess. Aw,
like I was
that's fair.
watching the behind the scenes stuff on the Blu-rays, and it was funny that Lala Ward was like, when I met K9, I met John Leeson, and like she only worked with him for one story, and like he already gave her like an impression in that one story, and then she was like,
Right.
yeah, and then David Beardley came on, and like he wasn't K9.
Yeah.
So
Especially
it's
after
funny that
two stories that are very canine light to come back with this, and it's jarringly different.
yeah, it's just funny that like she worked with John Leeson for one story, and he already had a bigger impression on her, and then
Yeah.
she was glad when he came back,
Mm-hmm.
and she didn't even know him.
That's pretty funny.
But yeah, I would say overall I liked the story. I didn't love it, but I just kind of I love this like the vibe of like the medieval planets that we're going to.
Yeah, I
It's a
really do
fun
like that
vibe.
they do those, and I wish they did them more.
Yeah,
Well, more in modern era, I should say. We get
yeah,
them a lot. Um,
yeah. We've
I
got a
really
lot of them in the
liked
Fourth Doctor.
I really liked the Doctor befriending Organon, the astrologer.
Yeah,
I think they had a really great banter, and I think they were really funny together.
yeah,
That was probably the strength of the whole story to me. The two of them were quite great.
and I love how it ended with him like reading the trade agreement over the guy's shoulder, and then he's like, "Do you know what this is?" And it's like, "It's a draft contract for a trade agreement." It's like, "Whoa, how do you know that?" I love how that's how they ended the story.
It's really funny that they leaned into like this stuff isn't real and he's kind of a con man, but he legitimately gets some things right because he's so good at it.
Yeah, he's good at observing people, so he knows how to do things.
Yes, he's good at observing people, but he is also intelligent in general. Like he was able to notice when things were off, and he did like
Yeah,
when he was taking a look at things. His predictions in some way were technically correct.
yeah. And then when he got out of the pit and he was given the star charts and he knew something was wrong, and
Yep.
there was something wrong. There was a star coming for them, a neutron star.
Yep. Um, I think what were their names? The bandits, basically. I
Yeah,
I thought like Torvin, I thought they were like the weakest part of the entire story.
yeah. They use them a lot, but they don't really do anything with them. They just show up to steal stuff, and then they just steal stuff again, and then they just do it again.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
did.
I don't know. I didn't like them.
I would say that the scene where Torvin gets stabbed, and he's like, "Oh, another 6 inches, or more tempered steel for his collection."
That
And
was quite funny, actually.
yeah, his death scene was his best scene.
Hmm. How did we feel about Erato, and the Tythonians?
it's a very famously not a well done creature design. That's for sure. Especially like
Yeah.
in the first scene, I was watching the behind the scenes, or like on the Blu-ray, you can watch like Doctor Who actors and crew watching the stories,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah. They have it the commentary. Yeah.
yeah, it's behind the sofa, and all of them were like, "Oh, that's very phallic looking." In the first scene,
Yeah.
Katie Manning's comment was the best, where she's like, "There are things I could say here that I'm not gonna say." And yeah, and then
I
the VFX guy was one of the people watching it in this one, and he was like, "Yeah, this is like the worst one.
there was
I don't want
exactly
to watch this."
one. There was exactly one scene where I thought it was kind of well done in how it was presented, even though it was still kind of bad. And it was when the doctor was trying to figure out how to communicate. So he was like doing
Yeah,
all these different kinds of methods of communication, including like grabbing like the tendril and like speaking into it, like all the
yeah,
little things that he did. I actually think that was really well done because it was showing how determined he was to convey his messaging, but really couldn't understand how to. And I think it would have worked just as well even if we hadn't seen the creature at that point, because he was describing it well. Oh, well, you don't
yeah,
have eyes. How can you see? You don't have ears. I don't know if you can even hear me. You don't have a mouth. You can't communicate to me. Like, it's that the descriptions were really good at conveying how what this was supposed to be like, basically. And
yeah,
I thought that was quite well done, actually.
yeah. I think like the writing of the character as well. It's just unfortunately, the design is not great.
Yeah, yeah,
Either it's just a blob or it's a very phallic looking creature.
with very inconsistent size and shape.
Yeah, and then there were stories of how like behind the scenes, like everybody was laughing at it in that first scene.
Yeah,
The
I imagine.
the producer was laughing and all the actors were laughing. They're like, "Yeah, we need to change this really quickly." But yeah,
God, that's so funny.
I think basically the story was that they weren't given a lot of time to do it, so they just kind of had to hastily do it, and then when they got it in the room, they were like, "Oh, we made a mistake here. we
Yeah, that's
we
pretty
didn't
silly.
intend for that." But I
But yeah,
did love the idea
yeah,
of like they had to grab the thing, and then anybody touching the thing has their voice stolen by the monster. Like that's a fun idea.
I do think that was a fun idea, and I like the way they revealed it of the doctor being like, "That wasn't me speaking."
Yeah.
It was an interesting way to handle communication.
Yeah. I,
Um,
I also loved when the doctor jumps in the pit and then he's reading Everest in easy stages, and then he's like, "Oh, this
yeah,
is in Tibetan." So he pulls out another book, which is How to Teach Your Stealth
yeah.
Tibetan.
The
Some good jokes.
visual gags with the doctor were pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say overall it's a very run of the mill story. There are things I enjoy about it, and then there are other things that are, nothing really special.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. The only other thing I have is I think Adrasta as a villain could have been handled a bit better too.
Yeah.
Would have liked to see a little bit more from her, because all we really had was she has the medals, she commands people, and she's the reason Arado is trapped, and that's kind of it. Like
Yeah.
she was kind of otherwise powerless.
I do kind of like how the doctor inspires a mutiny, though, which is nice.
Yeah, I do like that.
It
Happens a lot
teaches
with this doctor,
her
but
most faithful minions to betray her,
yep.
send the wolf weeds after her.
Okay, I do need to talk about the wolf reeds. The wolf reeds were the way they just keep taking out Canine, and just what the wolf weeds were is just all right. It's a little too silly.
Yeah.
It was crossing that line a little bit.
They were well done though. Like that special effect was well done.
Yeah.
Apparently, basically what they did was there was just like a wheel on the inside that was remote control, and then
Oh,
they could only
okay.
send them forward or backwards,
Yeah, that
so
makes
they couldn't
sense.
actually turn. So they always had to place them down correctly.
But the way they keep ganging up on K9 finally finding something that he can't beat.
Yeah. And it's just weeds.
That it like it is pretty funny, but it is one of those. It's a little hard to take seriously.
Yeah. I did like though when Arado kills the queen and he's like, and then the wolf weeds are on her and he's like, thank you for the wolf weeds. They were a nice snack because he needs the chlorophyll.
And the doctor's kind of just like, oh.
Yeah.
Not really sure how to process everything that just happened there.
For some behind the scenes notes, I will say that Corella, who was the old woman in this, is played by
Mm-hmm.
Eileen Way, and she was in An Unearthly Child as the old mother in that story. So
Oh, okay.
this is like she was also in the Dalek Invasion of Earth movie as an old woman who like Susan went to her house and wanted to be given protection, and then she turned her into the Daleks instead.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so that's an actress coming back from the very first story, which is kind of neat.
That is cool.
And then also the director of this is Christopher Barry, who has been directing since the Daleks, like the first Dalek
Mm-hmm.
story, and then this is his last one, in part due to the fact that he didn't really get along well with Tom Baker and Lalla Ward. And there was also all the technical
Ah.
difficulties that happened. So this is his last one, but he has been doing it since the Daleks, and kind of a shame.
Mm-hmm. Ah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I don't think I had much else about this story written down here.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean, it was fine. Is basically it.
I did like when the doctors asked his astrological sign. He said it's crossed computers, and I guess that's just, I guess on Gallifrey that is an astrological sign.
Potentially. I liked how they stopped the neutron star. I thought that was kind of neat,
Yeah,
but that's
I,
kind of it. Yeah, it was a neat story. It was a fun story, but it wasn't like anything special.
and the neutron star was the writer wanted to start introducing like actual, like real science to Doctor Who. So he went to
Okay.
like, I think he went to like a museum or a university or something, and then the
Mm-hmm.
people that were there, like he just explained like what he needs it to do, and they told him about neutron stars. And then the person there was like, I'm the lucky one that was just in here at the time because we're all big fans of Doctor Who, so I get to be the one that tells you about this all stuff.
Mm.
They were happy to contribute to Doctor Who. Yeah, I didn't have much else here on this
All
one.
right. Then it's time to move on to the Nightmare of Eden, which is the anti-drug PSA story.
Yeah,
uh, this was something. Um, what I have at the top of my notes is God Secker pissed me off.
yeah,
Like that's the intent, but my God, I could not stand him. And I know that's the point because he's like high as fuck, but
yeah.
not
He does
to
get killed off
not to
pretty
swear too
quickly.
much there, but like
The drug was just kind of confusing to me because they established that like it makes you really happy, but then it will kill you like very quickly, and it's like, I mean, I guess real drugs do that if you overdose on them, but this is just like if you take it once, you will die, and I'm like, why would you take it then? It's like a very over the top drug story, I would say.
Mhm.
Not subtle at all.
It's a bit messy. Secker pissed me off when Rig then also had it. I mean, his was also annoying because now you understood the context behind it, but it wasn't nearly as frustrating to me. I don't know, something
Yeah,
about the way the actor played Sectors was so annoying.
yeah,
um, I also feel like contextually, I don't really understand why Secker had been taking the drug because that would imply the smugglers gave it to him and he was aware of where it was that he could take more.
yeah. I guess maybe they sold it to him or something. I don't know. But why would you sell it when you're still on the ship? I don't know. That
Yeah.
doesn't sound
And why would
wise.
he take it when he's still on the ship?
Yeah,
Like willingly. especially since it was outlawed all throughout the galaxy at that point because they knew how deadly it was. It seemed like something people would not willingly take, which is what happened to
Yeah.
Rick. He did not willingly take it.
It almost feels like it's a waste to like try to drug Romano with it, and then like why would you use it so
Yeah, like if it's supposed to be
carelessly?
so valuable, why would you be using it?
Yeah, because you
Um,
wanted it for Romano, and then the captain takes it instead.
yeah. And that's the thing too. Like I don't what's the best way to phrase this? I don't really understand what the entire point behind everything going on was. Like why go through the process why go through the bother of fusing the ships together? You didn't need to do that to make your quote unquote delivery. They proved that in the
Yeah,
very end that they didn't need to cross the ships together like that to make it happen. I guess that's just because it was unstable. But then, like, halfway through the story, when they want you to start suspecting Trist, his entire personality is just completely different.
yeah,
But it doesn't even come across like he was acting maliciously and only like pretending because like his very last line is like no like he really did it only just for money for his his research. Like yeah, it was messed up and it was corrupt, but like he believed in his purposes. Yet the way he's acting in the final episodes is like purely just villain. So he's like his writing and his actions are like really at odds with each other,
yeah. And he tries to pin the blame on like anybody he can possibly pin the blame on.
which also feels very contradictory to like how he is in the first like episode or two, like the
Yeah,
personality they established for him. Like it just seems very at odds. It's weird.
yeah. And like frankly, like I mean, if he's doing all this, why not just have people working for you that agree with you, so you don't have to like shoot Stott on Eden and then have to get
Yeah,
the other woman arrested or trying to get her arrested.
yeah.
Like just have people working for you that know what you're doing. But then it's just him and then
Especially
the guy on the other ship.
yeah, which is just strange. Especially since so much of this came down to them knowing the technology was unstable. But as the Doctor and Romano went into, they knew it was unstable because of their superior knowledge of tech because they're not from this time. They're Time Lords. But
Yeah,
the way they presented it, Trist couldn't have known that it was unstable until they pointed it out. Because he didn't know things were missing, because this was like his invention.
yeah,
But for some reason, the whole plot hinges on actually he knew all along and it was designed that way on purpose. But that doesn't make sense.
yeah. And it's also like this is his invention, but the other guy just happens to have one. The other ship just has one on it. And just don't worry
Yeah.
about like when that was made.
Yeah. Um the the fact that the mandrels when electrocuted decompose into the drug into Vrax also didn't make any sense to me because how would he have discovered that? Did he watch
Yeah.
one get struck by lightning? Like, if it's very specifically when electrocuted, they decompose into that. Surely, any one of his associates, people working with him, would have discovered that with him because they would have been experimenting on these creatures to figure that out.
Yeah.
And clearly, not caring about conservation for them if they were willing to go that far.
And also, frankly, like if that's the plan, why not just kill them before you put them in the machine?
Yeah,
And then you can just have like a house in the machine where it's just all going to be in there, and then no one's
mm.
going to find it. It's a lot safer.
And if he knew his machine was unstable, why not then make it stable so that they can't come running out and risk the entire operation?
Yeah.
Also, the Mandrels just kind of killing a bunch of passengers came up for one scene and then never came up again.
Yeah. It's very messy.
Very messy. Um, Arguably, I would actually say this is probably one of the messiest stories of this era of like
Yeah,
Tom Baker's run. Or at the very least of Tom Baker and Romana. Um, the more
yeah.
I like think about this story, the more I'm like, I actually don't even know if I liked this one.
Yeah, it's I don't really have strong feelings on this one. I wouldn't say I hate it, but I don't really
as
like
soon
it that much.
as soon as they bring in even more characters, they're trigger happy cops.
Yeah.
Like even more frustrating.
I think one of the cops was played by the brother of Ben from the second Doctor era.
Oh,
I
really?
forget I forget what the actor's name, but one of them was his brother, which was a fun
Huh.
note. I think it was like when the one that was like searching the Doctor's pocket. So
Yeah.
like not the guy in charge, but the guy that had like the stick. I think he
Mm-hmm.
was his brother in real life, which is a fun
That's fun.
detail. But
Brother
yeah,
actors.
yeah, it wasn't the greatest story. One of the first things I noticed was like this machine is very similar to the one from Carnival of Monsters, but I
Yeah,
guess
I
it's
was
not.
thinking that too. And I thought they were going to do something more with that, but like,
I
nope, it's
guess
not miniaturization.
it's technically different because it makes it into like an electrical signal instead of literally just miniaturizing the monster sort of thing. So I
Yeah,
guess it's technically different.
I don't feel like they explained that very well either. Because
Yeah,
it makes it sound more like it's cloning, but then they're like, oh no, like there's like the planets they've been to and did this, they're literally just like gaping holes, like they ripped it out. It's like, wait, what? That's
yeah,
actually really bad. What? Like
yeah. You would think like a
so
scientist wouldn't want to do that.
it's more like it literally scooped that part up and put it in the zoo. Like that's why they kept talking about it as an electronic zoo. But it's more than just electronic, because when you talk about electronics and projections, they make it sound more like it's a recreation. But it's not. It's the literal thing just taken and put into it. But wouldn't that
Yeah,
affect like, if they can come walking in and out of it, wouldn't that also affect their molecular makeup, their structure? Like
yeah,
the the science behind it, as explained even in Doctor Who up to this point, just makes it feel very convoluted and feels like there's a big gaping hole in the logic.
yeah. Like even the question of like how it becomes unstable when one ship crashes into another from one exiting hyperspace is like, why would that affect the machine? Like
Yeah,
that's a very different thing, isn't it?
that is a very different thing, and it's clear that shouldn't be the reason that it happened, but apparently it might be.
Yeah,
um and then there's the whole, like, the first episode cliffhanger with like something comes out of Eden and makes Romana faint, and we never see or know anything else related to that again.
yeah. It's like, did Stott shoot her, or like what happened there? It's just like a light comes out and makes her go, makes her faint. It's like
Yeah, which
we
makes
don't
no
know what
sense
that was.
whatsoever. And then as soon as that happens, for some reason they're like, we gotta drug her. Like, what?
Yeah,
Sorry? Why? Like, that's just it's really messy. It's really messy.
yeah,
If Douglas Adams was still script editor for this, I don't know if there was any salvaging this one.
This was the last story written by Bob Baker, who was one of the two people that did K9's first story. But normally he has a partner
Okay.
writing with him. So
Hmm.
part of me wonders
Okay.
if maybe his, the partner helps make things make a bit more sense when he was writing. I don't know. I feel like he's definitely someone who's clearly used to writing with a partner, and not having that partner definitely has issues.
Yeah. Yeah. It was messy. To be honest, it was just messy. I think the more, yeah, I think the more I think about it, the more, yeah, this might be my least favorite of this run.
Yeah,
It had a lot of problems, and I feel like I don't want to say it could have used another episode because I really don't think that would have helped it. But I think it could have used fleshing some things out a bit more and maybe trying to tie it together with a bit more cohesion that it actually had.
Yeah. And then this is also behind the scenes. The story went really poorly when they were making it,
Yeah.
where, as I mentioned last time, the director quits halfway through making the story,
Oh, yeah, I'm
largely
sure that
because
didn't
like
help.
normally Tom Baker is rude to the directors, but in this
Right.
case, like everybody disagreed with what he was doing. Like the cast and
Mm-hmm.
crew, they all disagreed with like all the choices he was making. So
Mm.
he just kind of quit, and then Graham Williams had to take over.
Damn.
And then because of how badly this went, Graham Williams ends up quitting at the end of the season. So,
Yeah. Wow.
but then there is a funny story that when the crew members, when the production was finally wrapped, the crew members were all given T-shirts saying, "I'm relieved the nightmare is over."
All right, that's actually pretty great, not gonna lie.
I think I might have a picture of it here because it was in the special features.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah,
fun.
I will send this picture.
In our little side chat. I'm reading the story notes on the wiki, and it says, "This didn't just make Graham Williams quit. This is also when Douglas Adams quit, or this one led to him quitting." Wow, wow, this really was a mess behind the scenes, huh? Just as messy as the actual Dare program, apparently.
Yeah, I know. I think part of the reason why Douglas Adams quit was also just because Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy was getting big at the same time. So,
Okay.
like, technically, there's a lot more with him involved.
Mm-hmm. But that's part of it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think overall, I would have. I think I would have liked the story better if it was not an anti-drug PSA, but if it was about smuggling creatures. I
yeah,
think about smuggling creatures instead would have been more interesting. Oh, that's so
yeah,
funny.
yeah. I sent the picture there,
That's so funny. The
and
gold text. I'm
clearly
relieved.
they
The
kept it
nightmare is over.
because that was in one of the documentaries on the Blu-ray. Was one of the
That's
people
so
still
funny.
had their shirt with them, so they
Good.
showed it.
That's quite funny. That's quite funny.
Yeah, yes,
But no,
definitely not a great story.
no, I was gonna say overall, this is probably my least favorite of the season so far, and it's a shame.
Yeah,
Um, there were ideas that could have made it better, but there was enough happening behind the scenes that definitely wouldn't have happened.
yeah,
But that covers the 2 episodes that we watched for this one, but still a bit more to talk about. Um, you guys watching may be very familiar with the big news in Doctor Who right now in terms of the modern side of things. We had a whole chat about that in a mini episode. Well, I say mini, it was actually quite long. It was like 30
yeah,
minutes. But
yeah.
a dedicated episode talking about the news has already gone up. Um, we tried to get that one up pretty much as soon as the news broke and we had a chance to talk about it. So that's a separate one. If you want to hear our thoughts on Doctor Who going out the tender and however the BBC slash Disney slash Russell T Davies left the state of Doctor Who currently, we had a
Yeah.
whole discussion about that. Go check that one out because there's quite a lot to say on that. And it's way too much to get into again here. But again, dedicated episode, you can check that one out. But that being said, the classics journey still has quite a bit more to go, and
Yep.
what better way to fill in the gap with no modern Who for quite some time with some more classics. So, of course, if you want to join us on this journey going through classic Doctor Who together, here on Genesis of the Doctor, we have a Patreon, and if you support us at our lowest tier, our passenger tier, you'll get into the Discord server where we'll be encouraging discussions between episodes, and you'll also get early access to the episodes pretty much as soon as they're done. And at our companion tier, you'll be able to watch live as we record, where we have a little side chat, and you can tell us that the Nightmare of Eden is actually Tom Baker's best story. The anti-drug PSA really worked on you. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I will say I did kind
But
of like Trist in that story though. Like I like the
yeah,
actor. He did a good
yeah, there
job.
was something about him I did like, which is why I think that's why I was so disappointed that he ended up being the villain, and his villain personality was so contrasted to the rest of his personality.
Yeah.
There was just something about him in the first couple episodes that was actually really fascinating. He was a little aloof, but like it seems more like he's gonna become helpful, and then oh no, turns out it's him all along, which feels strange.
Yeah. I will
But
note that Doctor Who Circuit Breaker is also starting by the time this episode goes up
yes,
publicly.
Circuit
So
Breaker is starting. They've been really pushing the marketing for that too, so
yeah,
that
I
is
guess it's
also a way to get some good modern Who currently.
yeah. When this episode goes up, they will have had the first update on their website. Is all that's up so far.
Okay, okay.
Then I think it's a comic that comes out like the first week of July. Is the first thing
Mm-hmm.
you have to buy for it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
It should be good, honestly. It should be pretty good.
I'm hoping there's more ties into Classic Who than they've implied based on like the episodes they put on the Blu-ray because they
Mm-hmm.
only put one Classic Who story on that.
Hmm.
Although we do
That's
also know
fair.
that the audiobook that's not a Big Finish audiobook did they announced the cast of it and one of it's Joe Martin and also the guy that did the Cyber Leader in various Classic Who stories,
Oh,
which is kind of
okay.
cool because I don't think he's come back since Classic Who. I'm pretty sure he just like only did like I think he did like fifth, sixth, and seventh Doctor stories maybe,
Mm-hmm.
and
That
he's
should be
coming
cool.
back for that. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I guess that does
Yeah, we
imply
could
that
definitely see how
it'll
that goes.
probably tie into his old stories.
Mm-hmm. Fascinating.
Yeah.
I really am curious what they'll do. I've been a little worried about them. Like when we did the Morbius, the brain of Morbius, and we had like those like the other faces of the Doctor. I had like a thought come to mind of like I could see them re-releasing that story, and they put Joe Martin's face in there, and I'm like, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. That's only going to make things way more complicated, please. So I'm very curious to see what they'll do, trying to tie in some level of classic stories into it here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Joy, would you like to let everyone know how to prepare for our next episode?
Yep. So in our next episode, we will be finishing up season 17 with
Oh wow.
the
Okay.
horns of I don't know if it's Nemon or Nimon. I don't know how you pronounce that, but the horns of Nimon, which is a four-parter, and Shada, which is a little complicated because technically it's a six-parter, but the story behind Shada is that in the 1970s they didn't actually finish filming it, so
Oh.
eventually in 2017 they decided we're going to get Tom Baker and Lalla Ward to record their lines for the episode for the like the scenes that never got recorded, and we will have that animated. So
Oh.
like they got like the animation team that made like some of the animated stories to animate like the missing scenes of the story. So it was partially filmed in the 70s and then they finished it in 2017. So technically
Wow.
it was supposed to be a six-parter, but the animated version I think just makes it one episode essentially. So it's a very
That's
complicated story.
that's intriguing.
But yeah, in the 70s they started filming it and then a strike happened, so they didn't manage to finish it. And then by the time next season starts, there's like a whole new production team, so I guess they just decided not to bother finishing it. And
Huh.
then
Okay.
I think in the 90s they released like what they had filmed and they had Tom Baker come back and just like talk to the camera about like what happened between them essentially. And then Big Finish did an adaptation with Eighth Doctor in like the early 2000s, and then the animated version came out in 2017, I believe. So
Okay. This should
the version
be
you will
an
find,
interesting one to get through.
version you will find on the Doctor Who Classic YouTube channel and other places is the partially animated one. So yeah. And then the
Okay.
other funny story about that is that when they did the Five Doctors, when they had the fourth Doctor there, they were just like, well, we have all these scenes that nobody has seen yet, so they used like the Shada scenes for that.
Oh, that's funny.
So we will see it out of order, where we will see in the Five Doctors when we get there, we will see stuff we will be familiar with, but nobody would have been familiar with at the time.
That's funny. That's how hindsight works. It's like time traveling.
Yep.
It's fitting to the whole thesis of the show.
Yeah, and then with this ending off season 17, that will be David Brierly will only be in these two stories, and then John Leeson's back next season,
Okay.
and Graham Williams leaves at the end of the season as well, and then John Nathan Turner takes over next season. Who like John Nathan Turner is a very complicated person for many reasons,
Mm.
but he's the producer from that point until the end of Doctor Who or end of
Oh,
Classic
wow.
Who,
Okay. Wow. All right.
and then obviously Douglas Adams leaves as well, which
At the end of the season,
partially
right? Or at the end of the story?
at the end of the season, and he wrote
Okay.
Shada as well. But
Okay.
he was famously he was not very proud of Shada, so he was kind of happy it didn't get finished. And then after he died, they did finish it. So he wrote it, but he
Rolling in
wasn't
his
really
grave a
proud of
bit.
his work there.
Yeah.
But then yeah, like I think essentially the story with Douglas Adams was that he took the role of the script editor for Doctor Who, and then like a month or two later, the BBC was like, "Hey, we're giving you the green light for a TV show based on Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy." So he was like heavily having to do two jobs at the same time. So
Yeah, that's a lot.
he left Doctor Who because he had his own show to do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah,
All right. Well,
this will
then,
be an
as a
interesting time.
reminder, it is, and I'm definitely curious to see where it goes after them, right? Because Douglas
Yeah,
Adams added a lot to the show, I think.
yeah.
All right. Well, as a reminder, make sure to watch the Horns of Nimon and Shada before our next episode. You can find those on the BBC iPlayer or the Doctor Who Classic YouTube channel or Tubi TV. And if you support us on Patreon for just $1 a month, you'll gain access to our Discord and early access to these episodes. I have been Triss. You can find me at Toontriss.
And I've been Joy. You can find me at Joy Content.
And we'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.